Welcome back to the Pesky Report, brought to you by Beyond the Monster. This is episode 477, and we've got a series victory to talk about in what feels like the first time in a month. You might be thinking, I'm confused now. I just listened to the weekday show. I thought I finally get a break from hearing Matt's voice. Now I'm hearing Matt's voice again. What's going on? Well, I'm filling in on the weekend show this week, and some good news to talk about. So I couldn't be happier. I've got Bayleigh joining me as well, filling in, and we've got Jason filling in as well on the weekend show. So, I mean, really, we've fully taken over. This is actually a hostile takeover of the weekend show right now on the Pesky Report. So hopefully, hopefully we can make it through the whole episode without getting hijacked back. I don't know.
Right. I don't know. I mean, what if the ratings just skyrocket with us? Like we're never gonna not be able to not do it, the audience
True.
wants us.
What are they
It's
gonna
true.
say?
Right?
I mean, we give the people what they want.
Exactly.
And yeah, that would be unfortunate.
Yeah.
Didn't really plan for that actually. So we'll try to keep this concise, but yeah, I'm excited to be here. I guess I'll flip it over to you, Jason. You made your way here after a little bit of an eventful day. How are you doing? And if you want to tell the people about the day you've had so far.
Oh yeah, so my day started waking up and saying, "Oh, we have a Greenville Drive game," because I'm a broadcast production intern. So
Nice.
have to go do every game and be there really early and then leave. I'm not saying late, but you have the full experience, and then I had to go 12 innings. I know I got the text from Matt like, "Yeah, 7:30." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll easily be there." And then we get to extra inning. It was 3-1 in the ninth, and and Greenville came back. Series of hits, and then the 10th they got 2, and then Blaze just hit a moonshot. I'm like,
Nice.
yay, the 11th, and then they score 1. Big Al Felice came in to pitch, position player, because the Greenville had nobody, and then whatever, they got done in the 12th. They couldn't come back. They threatened, but they couldn't do it. So yep, that's the day. Let's talk some Sox. I got to catch the majority of the games, so thankfully. And I'm excited to talk with y'all.
What's your overall vibe on the team right now coming out? I mean, obviously it was breaking a 5-game losing streak coming into the game on what was it, Friday, right? And we ended up taking the series. So what's your vibe right now, Jason, as far as is this actually a turning point for the team moving into June, the weather's starting to get warmer, or is this just a one-off? And I guess if we're using Captain America references in this episode, is it more of a blip?
Listen, I'll believe it till I see it. And this team has the exact same identity as the 2022 through 2024 Red Sox, right? Good win, good series win, followed up by a bad series, followed up by an even worse series. I love this phrase, like, to describe the Red Sox: 1 step forward, 2 steps back. This is a step forward, right? Gaining momentum. I know the second game of this series was, yeah, they lost. They got shut out for the first time all year. Boom. I totally forgot it. I looked into it. I'm like, oh my gosh, they actually got shut out like for the first time this year. Yippee ki hey. Your record still sucks. But you go into this game, I'm like, yeah, I mean, you have Crochet on the bump versus Bryce Elder at the last second because they pushed Strider to tomorrow or whatever their next game is. Something, I think there's a doubleheader that threw everything off for the Braves. You go in today, they got the job done. But at the same time, you got to look. It's like, well, that one, bases clearing double from Story was all the offense you got. Good stuff by Crochet, going 7 innings and striking out a season high 12. But no, to answer your question, Matt, like, yeah, I was down on this team. Like that Brewers series was just a series to forget. And it's like, dude, this is the same old Sox. And I'll get some hot takes later, but like, I fool me once, shame on you. Last year, like, I'm like, yeah, last year they're ready. They're hot. They're scorching hot. Around this time is when they started to pick things up. Are we going to see that again? And it's like, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So am I going to fall for the bait again if this starts to happen again? No. And I think it's a completely different team than last year. There are a bunch of different circumstances that you are facing too, which I feel like we'll get deeper into. But overall vibe, I'm not. You got to follow this up with at least a series win against the Angels. A borderline sweep. You have to.
The Angels, if anyone is wondering or hasn't looked recently, are not good.
No.
They are not good. But that should not surprise anybody. Bayleigh, what's your vibe now? We obviously did an entire hour earlier this week, mostly on 2011, but
Yeah,
we
good
did sprinkle in some talk about the
good stuff.
Brewers series. Did this change your tune a little bit? Yeah, how are you feeling?
It's like Jason says, it's difficult to really buy into it until we start seeing them like beat up on teams that are worse than them. Like they're bad right now, but I mean, come on, it's the Angels. Like, yeah, like you say, a borderline sweep for that has to happen. You're at home. It's only 3 games at home, and then you're in Yankee Stadium, and then you're playing like the Yankees, I think, back-to-back weekends. So it's gonna be like that's gonna be the shits right there. That's gonna be tough. If they can like come out of that with a winning record, I'll like feel good. But it's like, I don't know if I'm going to feel truly good until Bregman's back. And then it might be just too late at that point. But I don't know. It's like we don't really know what's going on with the not manipulation of Roman Anthony. So it's like, when are we going to see him again? I never want him to be considered a savior, but I just want to see him play. Like, I think the team is better when he's in this lineup. Like, you can make yourself a decent lineup with like 6 guys who are about average to above average. And that's like not counting that like Meyer's been struggling and Campbell's been struggling. And I still don't believe that like they're bad. Like, they're not bad. They're rookies. So I think that'll start to even out and they'll become better as the season progresses. So then you potentially have like 8 above average hitters in that lineup. But it all starts with bringing up Roman Anthony, I think. It helps balance the lineup up. And then if you're stuck with Trevor Story until, you get Bregman back, like hit him 9th. And then Cedon becomes your super utility. And what a value he would be. So I'm not like super out because like it is literally just June 1st, but I'm not like excited, and I'll always joke and be like, World Series, let's go. But it's like, I didn't even think you were going to win the World Series even when they signed Alex Bregman and you went into this. I was like, wow, the AL is pretty terrible, and it still is pretty terrible. So there's an off chance if you actually get hot, good things can happen. Because I'm pretty sure leading the West right now with 32 wins is the Seattle Mariners. Like, you're not that far off behind like somebody who's leading a division, because that's how bad this AL is. So maybe let's see. Once we get past that second Yankees series, I feel like maybe I'll feel a little better if they play well.
That's the biggest caveat, I think, is the if they play well.
Of course. Big if. It's a big if.
But we tend to show up against the Yankees, even if everything else is going horribly wrong.
I would love it.
We'll see. They don't get to face, Garrett Cole this time, unfortunately. So we do have, obviously,
what a bummer.
That's got to be factored in. Yeah.
Rafi's having like his best offensive season of his career, and he hasn't faced Garrett Cole. Imagine what the numbers would be if some Garrett Cole starts were coming up. Oof, look out.
That's a great point. Yeah, I mean, looking at a couple of things, like you talked about, hey, they need to call up Roman Anthony. I could definitely recognize that sentiment, but I mean, we actually got breaking news this morning that the Red Sox were making a move and calling up from Worcester an outfielder who is, highly touted young prospect at one point with the Royals and is now with the Red Sox. And is it Adam Eaton? Or is it
Nate Eaton?
Yeah, Nate Eaton.
Yeah, Adam Eaton, he was first baseman for the Nationals back in the day, right?
I wonder if they're related, honestly.
Who knows?
I gotta find this. I gotta look this up. But yeah, we made a move to call someone up in place of Nick Sogard, and it was not Rowan Anthony. And Cotillo put it out that yes, the Red Sox are facing a slew of left-handed pitchers in the next couple of days.
That is true.
I don't think that's the reason why they did that. I really don't.
It's not though. Like, you're right. It's not the reason.
That is not.
But that's
because
a good
minor
excuse.
league yeah,
it's
exactly.
An excuse.
Right, because the minor league opt-out day is June 1st, and he had an opt-out. So it's like, you know what? Let's see what we can get in the big league level. If it's something, we'll keep him on the roster and figure it out from there. But like, seriously though, like, I think we'll get into it. But like, I have a weird take on Roman. But unless,
all right, I can't wait to hear this take. But before we get to that, speaking of opt outs, someone did opt out today with his deal with the New York Yankees, and it's a certain first baseman. I think it's very interesting timing considering that Blaze Jordan did just get the promotion up to AAA. Which congratulations to him. I don't know if
That's
they've
awesome.
officially announced that yet, but it's been very well informed sources putting out that today. Obviously, Monday's an off day, a travel day for the minor league team, so would make sense to do a call up on a Sunday, get him over there, get him acclimated in order for Tuesday. But Blaze can play third, he can play first. We need first base depth. Blaze is going to be a piece of that puzzle.
It's awesome.
Dom friggin' Smith is now available. He is a free agent. If we want to talk about shifting the vibes, if we want to talk about creating culture, if we want to talk about, adding some thump to that lineup, some beef, adding a man at first base. We got Dom Smith available. I mean, how do you guys feel about Dom Smith? Yay or nay? Is this something that could happen?
No.
It's like I don't think it's
audio
needed.
form everyone just shook their head.
Just shaking heads.
Nah.
Yeah, there's depth, great, but like he opted out because he's not being utilized at the major league level. So go somewhere where maybe you can be utilized because the Yankees weren't doing it. I don't think like Toro's has like a 126 WRC plus right now. Like Toro's, can he sustain it? Probably not. But like for right now, and he's bailing out Trevor Story at first, so I don't really see a true fit for bringing some BDSM energy, but
No, I mean, no, I agree. Just with Toro hitting the way he is, it makes zero sense. And then you have the minor league depth. You just got Ryan Noda. I know he stinks. I don't like him at all. He's a trash baseball player in the major league level. No, I don't think so. Like, you're not going to get Dom Smith to be the starting first baseman because, I mean, you saw it with Christian Campbell, right? They're like, oh, he's going to play on Sunday. And then the Sunday lineup comes out and it's like, oh, actually, we're not, which is already super stupid because, like, why are we saying something and then going back on our word? Like, at least say, like, Toro's been playing well.
Yeah.
I know we said this, whatever. It took until like, I know Cora addressed it post game, like, oh yeah, Toro's pushing the envelope a little bit, where it's like, the whole thing was like, oh yeah, because remember Campbell was taking grounders so that Bregman and Meyer could potentially play. And Meyer would be at second, Campbell would be at first. Now they're like, oh, we have Toro now who can play first. Maybe he's this year's version of Dom Smith. Boom. I mean, and Bregman obviously got hurt. So it's like the conversation shifts. So like, yeah, no, I don't think Dom Smith would provide nothing to this team. I'm sorry. Like, thank you for your service last year. He would provide nothing this year.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that if it came down to Dom Smith or Ryan Noda for who we're going to have sitting in as our left-handed hitting first baseman in AAA to provide some depth, I would easily prefer Dom Smith. I know obviously he's a little bit older. He's 29 compared to Ryan Noda here, but Noda's actually they're the same age. I take it back. Noda is 29. Dom Smith is 29. Dom Smith just looks so much older than that.
He really
to be honest
does.
with you.
That's the problem.
Like, honestly, I would have pegged him at like 34. Like I had no idea he was 29. But Noda this season in AAA is batting 182 with a 677 OPS, 4 home runs, whereas Dom Smith in AAA is batting 255. He's got a 781 OPS, 8 home runs. I think that, like, if you wanted to upgrade in comparison to the depth that we have down there, Dom Smith would make a lot of sense. Do I see him taking a minor league deal when he just opted out of a minor league deal? Unless he really hated the Yankees, I don't think it makes sense.
Yeah.
Which is very possible.
It could be on the table. Look what they ruined. They ruined poor Pablo. They hate him over there.
They used him to pitch against the Dodgers down 18, 16, whatever.
Yeah. The Dodgers had Kike Hernandez on the mound, and the Yankees put Pablo.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
Yeah. Pablo Reyes versus Kike Hernandez. The rubber match we all were waiting for with the World Series rematch on the line. Yeah. Not great. All right. So backtracking to, I want to hear what's your hot take on the Roman Anthony situation here, Jason?
Listen. I feel like if there's a date, a service time manipulation date, right? Let's just say it's June 2nd, June 3rd. Why are we going to call him up 2 days, 3 days before?
Oh, they won't. Yeah.
I understand he should be at this level, but they've already committed to that path. Like they have a set date where they're comfortable. They're like, okay, we manipulated this. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do by any means, but at the same time, they have a path. And if that's the path they committed to, why are we not going to commit it to? Why are we just going to get off that path and go back on what they're internally saying? You know, he should be in the majors. I'm just going to say this right now. Don't get me wrong. He would by far improve the major league team. And you know, we say like, what's the best lineup? Roman's in it, Myers in it, Campbell's in it. No matter if they struggle or not, they're gonna struggle. They're rookies. Campbell's like you have to adjust. The league adjusts to you. I think Lou Merlone said this. The league adjusts to you. You have to adjust to the league. Right? That's how baseball works. That's how they operate. If they have a date with Anthony, have it, you know, June 3rd. Wait till June 3rd and then call him up. You can't screw it up. You can't screw up like the service time thing. It's stupid, but you have to commit to it. I'm sorry. You have to commit to it. He should be in the majors. They should have done it earlier. They shouldn't have committed to this stupid path. It should have been within the first few weeks. Yep. Oh, because if he wins Rookie of the Year, he gets a full year service time.
Who gives a shit?
You're the Boston Red Sox. You shouldn't do that. Yeah, you shouldn't be worried about that. It's stupid. It's baseball malpractice. It's literally malpractice by the front office, not fielding out the best version of your team for service time manipulation.
And like blatant service time manipulation. Like you're obviously not going to say it. That's why every time they tried to tiptoe around it, it's like, okay, he's like what, a 930 OPS, and you're like, oh, you know, really want to push to that 1,000, you know?
Yeah, and Craig Breslow has the audacity to say, oh yeah, there's some stuff he needs to work on. Like, what is there to work on with him?
And you work out it, you have him struggle at the major league level because he needs to see the major league pitching.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think he should have been on the opening day roster. Like, truthfully, if you were going to go with Campbell, like, why the hell weren't you going to go with Roman?
Because they had outfield spots already locked in.
I mean, I don't care. My thing was like 100% Ceddanne should have been from the jump a super utility person. I don't care. I don't care how good he is in the outfield. I really don't care that it's like Jackie Bradley Jr. incarnate. I'm not playing that man's terrible bat over Roman Anthony. And that's my thing. I would have easily been like, sorry, Ceddanne, don't care. Like,
I did a little research, guys. June 6th.
Is that the Super 2 thing?
That is.
Yeah. Also, my thing is he's going to come up on June 7th and he's going to win Rookie of the Year or he's going to come in second because the rookies are poop. It's like that one.
He'll be in second behind Narvaez.
No, I'm not. I'm pretty sure it's that kid in Oakland.
Jacob
that's
Wilson.
Good, right?
Jacob Wilson has the highest BABIP out of all.
I was gonna say,
all 5 players. He's gonna come.
You mean the luckiest hitter in the entire planet? Yeah. Let me just read some stats off. Oh,
it's he. Like I said, amongst qualified hitters, I feel like he has like 50.
He's also playing in a little league ballpark too for half of his games. Exactly. So there's that too.
Yeah. So
no,
the most,
I'd love if Carlos won.
Yeah, well, Carlos Narvaez is, if he can hold this up over the whole season, he's going to make a good case. But
yeah, we're getting that PPI.
This is the top 5. We'll just say the top 4 luckiest batters in the American League. I'm sorry, in all of baseball, the top 4 luckiest batters. This is the difference between the WOBA and the expected WOBA, right? So this is like, best way to explain it is like, it's the equivalent of FIP for pitching, but like, how lucky are you actually getting compared to what were your actual results, the expected results? So Jacob Wilson is the highest in his actual on base average as opposed to his expected at a 0.06% higher. And that's compared to, like, I'll just give you in hard numbers because it's hard to visualize over hearing the numbers instead of seeing them, but we'll just say that his is a 60 The next closest is TJ Friedel, which is with the Cincinnati Reds at a 54. And then Alex Bregman at a 45 and Aaron Judge at a 39. The top four luckiest hitters in all of baseball. So
yeah, and it's also like, who's to say that if Campbell doesn't have like a healthy and like really good June, like he would have won 2 rookie of the months, let's say, like that's putting you like ahead, like so it's like the race is still wide open, but they're terrified that Roman's going to come in top 2. And
which is absolutely ridiculous, by the way.
Insane to me. Also, if he's that good, why was he not on your opening day roster? And you were like, oh, we're going to walk our way to a PPI pick.
I know why. It's because they figured that Christian Campbell was also potentially that good, and they needed a second baseman. They didn't need a fifth outfielder.
I get it.
So,
but I'm so out on Sadan's bat that I'm like, I don't see there not being an opening. But that's a me thing. I'm amazing A+ center fielder, but like, oh man, dude, it's like if he could at least be average, you'd be like, damn, what a steal. He's so bad.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, his defense is elite. The numbers are showing he's leading all center fielders in outs above average, right? And the underlying defensive metrics, like scouts are saying that he potentially is the best defensive player in baseball, according to sources. I think Red Sox stats put that out. How much is that going to be a value to you, right? I mean, from what I can tell, right, I was watching before the game today. They were playing a highlight reel on Nesson of like all the top plays in May. Crazy catch after crazy catch. Yeah. And it seemed like every single one of those catches was with Liam Hendriks on the mound. Like, I don't know another man who was more benefited from the A+ defense of Ceddanne Rafaela and Wilyer Abreu than Liam Hendriks. Legit. I think, and Brian Bayleigh. Like those are the two ones that they kept cutting to over and over again. And it was like, oh my gosh, great defensive play, bailing him out. And like Hendriks is off the team now. He's currently dealing with an injury.
Oh my God, it's crazy.
Hopefully he can come back in, couple of weeks when he's healthier at that point and be good. Bayo hasn't been great. I don't know.
Bad.
I don't know.
You just look at the starting pitchers, and it's like, I had the questions within myself, like, what the heck's going on? Like, I thought Andrew Bayleigh was supposed to be this person. I have serious questions about this now. Like, I understand the pitching philosophy is different from Andrew Bayleigh. He's done. Look, has Breslow come in and done a lot of good things with the pitching philosophy? Yes. Has Andrew Bayleigh? I feel like that's a separate kind of a separate conversation to have, because it's like, okay, you look at these starting pitchers, last year, Houken, Crawford. This year, really? Like, it's Crochet and everybody else.
And Crochet was already good. I'm sorry, Andrew Bayleigh didn't make Crochet better. Like,
you can make an argument he made Houck better, but now he's bad. Crawford is in that same boat. Bayo at a time was in that boat. You can't say that for anybody. Giolito is Giolito. He's not that good. He is a Chad innings eater. Okay?
Like, I know he had Tommy John.
I know. Oh, yeah, don't get me wrong. He was supposed to be your 1 last year. Now
That's what's bad. That's what's bad.
Now he's your 5. And it's like, you know what? Fine. You're going to come, you're going to give me 6 innings and then like what? 4 runs? Whatever. Sure.
6 innings? We'd be lucky. We haven't been getting 5 innings out of like 4 out of the 5 starters in this rotation. You know, like that's the other thing lately is like, not only I think having a Thursday off day every single week for the next like month is going to help them be more aggressive with the bullpen. I get it. Like they're able to have these built-in resets where like in theory, it'll always be a rest day on the same point in the rotation. So they can do the same things over and over again and rotate these guys. Right. But like, man, it's just, you're looking up and it's the 4th inning and these guys are at 65 pitches, 70 pitches already. And you're like, I just know this is going to be his last inning if he even makes it out of this inning. And do I want to see guys like Hunter Dobbins back in the starting rotation instead of piggybacking? Yes.
Mhm.
Do I want to see Dick Fitz getting pushed more than, 7 pitches past his last rehab start? Yes. Like, these are all the things that we'd like to see. But Giolito, especially, like, he's supposed to be an innings eater, and he's having to get yanked because they're just cranking base hits off of him. And I think he had like 10 balls hit over 100 miles an hour off of him on Friday's game.
Yeah, it's
That's
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But then when they do this load management thing with people, like, I understand, but at the same time, it's like, you're at 77 pitches? That's load management?
Yeah, no,
And you have a
the
gassed bullpen?
that's a flaw that I find with Cora is how he manages the pitchers, because it's like, my thing is, you're gonna blow out Bernardino's arm in like a matter of weeks. You're gonna blow out Chapman's arm. Are you not caring because you're like, oh, we suck, we're just gonna give Chapman away and get a bunch of prospects, so burn his arm out? But like, you should be thinking that you're gonna win and you're gonna need Chapman in September. Like, so I do the logic of how he manages. We've already burned Slayton, like, oh, so
Burned
it's just,
Hendricks in a way.
yeah. So it's like, I don't know. I mean, and I understand like somebody like a Giolito's coming off of surgery, but you're talking about 77 friggin' pitches. Like, I was shook today that Crochet came back out with 99 and that he actually let him finish the whole inning. I was like,
He
can you
had
please
to.
just manage everybody
Had
like
to.
this? Like,
You had to do it. I mean, they have 3 games coming up,
yeah.
and they couldn't afford to have another game where they reach into the bullpen. I mean, the
No.
next game's going to be a bullpen game anyways. It's going to be Fitz and
my
Dobbins
gosh, yeah.
piggyback start.
God.
Yay.
And it's like, maybe
Yay.
you can get 4 and 4 from them. That would be great. Like, if you could get 4 each, but like, I don't know. I mean, it's just like, I feel like we also just don't have the dudes. We don't have those guys. We don't have a whole team, and nobody has a whole team of Crochets. But like, the fact is that you can't like and I think it's an issue is like, a part of me is like, if Bayo's bad, but he can't even go 5, I don't care. Just let him out there. Let him air it. Let him wear it. Like, my thing is just like, the fact is that, like, pull up your big boy pants. You can't even go 5 innings. Like, it drives me insane. But that's my biggest boomer take of all time was I miss the days where when you went 7, it was like, nah, I could have done more. It was kind of a bad start. I only went 7. I miss those days, but that's my big boomer take. And I understand they make more money than I ever have before, and you really have to invest in them. I get it, but I miss those days.
The fact that Bernardino still has an arm after all this is insane.
Maybe he is a rubber arm and we just
Agreed.
don't know, because and he's been good too. Like, he's been good. So I'm like,
Aside
shit.
from a few starts, but like relief, like when
comes to
Bernardino came
relieving,
in
yeah.
like the first game of the Brave series and walked 3 straight. Like,
Yeah.
pitchers are like relievers are so like volatile. Like,
It's also maybe that's
like,
happening because you're using him so much.
exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Like, relievers aren't never perfect every time. Like,
Of course
especially
not.
non-closers, they're not good every time.
That's why investing so much money in your bullpen has always been kind of crazy to me. Except for somebody who's maybe proven themselves, but even then, you just don't know. They could just be
Look at Alexis Diaz. Look at
yeah.
Devin Williams this year.
He's not even the closer anymore.
I mean, he's looked better now, but like, look at Edwin Diaz last year when he came back from injury. Like, you never know with these guys with proven track records, right? Proven track records.
Liam Hendricks.
Oh,
Yeah, that's another one. Yep.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Look
You
at
just don't know.
Kenley Jansen out in LA right now.
That might be the craziest stat line I've ever seen. His ERA was a 5, but has he blown a save?
Oh,
yeah, I think he has. Yeah, I want him to like get lit up by us.
There was one game a couple of weeks ago, and I think it's mostly what's inflating his ERA. He gave up 2 home runs. I want to say it was to the same guy in the same inning. He gave up like 9 runs in the 9th inning or something like that. It was something crazy.
Oof.
I mean, they were winning, so I'm pretty sure it was a save opportunity. Let me see here.
That's crazy.
We're gonna tee off of him this week.
I can't wait. It's gonna be fun. You give up on my team last year. I'm gonna tee off on you.
Yeah, I will say, Adam Eaton, by the way, my research shows not related to Nate Eaton.
Boo.
I know that people were wondering, and unfortunately, not the case.
No bloodline.
Yeah, not the case. All right, Kenley Jansen. Let's find this stat line here because this was crazy. Game logs. Here we go. Oh yeah, here we go. It was against Detroit Tigers on May 2nd.
The best team in baseball.
He pitched 0.2 innings. He gave up 6 earned runs, 3 home runs. He got 1 strikeout. So he came in 6 hits in the innings, 6 earned runs, 3 homers before getting yanked
Jesus
from the
Christ.
game.
That's crazy. Also, they just like let him. I guess. Whoa, shit, man! Just let him stay healthy.
There goes
Yeah.
the clean episode.
His ERA for month of May was a 9.64.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm trying to see if there's any like stats in here. Blown saves, but no. Did he actually get any saves?
Maybe
He had
maybe
5
maybe
saves.
he's imploding. Maybe he's imploding, so then he can lower his value and then get traded to the Dodgers. That's probably what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
It very well could be. From what I can tell, he. Oh my gosh, yeah, he's given up.
He wants to go
earned
back so
runs.
badly.
Oh my!
I will
gosh.
never respect. I lost all respect for him when he just left the team and
Yeah.
went to the Dodgers playoff games. Like, are you serious?
The
like,
big smile on his
you're getting
face.
paid by the Red Sox,
Yep.
and you have the audacity to go.
I love
well,
in-
I'm supporting
I love
my
in the
friends
doc.
on the Dodgers.
I love in the
don't
doc
care.
that Duran called him out in the doc. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, this is awesome. He's like, oh yeah, he's just not here, and I was like, because he's an
Well,
animal.
do you remember when
Oof.
there was that one shot from the dock where he was there, but he was in the clubhouse, and they had the audio only of Duran being like, "Hey man, like,
Mm.
can you? It'd be awesome if you came out and supported everyone in the dugout or something like that." And they just like showed the response was like, "No," or like, oh,
Like,
I don't know.
dude,
That was crazy. He
I just
wouldn't
don't
do
know
it.
how you can do that.
I love how
like,
Cora was like, "Hey, if you want to go home, you can go home." He's like, "Son, bet."
yeah, bye guys. And I would be like, okay, I would be mad as like, but then ownership doesn't seem to care, and that's the problem. But like, if I'd be mad at Cora being like, why are you letting him? I'm paying this man. He is staying for 162 games, wearing this uniform. Then he can go cheer on the friggin' Dodgers. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, it'll be interesting. We'll get to see him this week and then at the end of the month as well. We're actually, I think we play them like, I think it's like a weird every other week thing right now, just till we get their series out of the way.
We do that with
Yeah,
the
but-
Angels every year. Every year,
Yeah.
we get them done within a week. Every
Yeah.
year.
I'm gonna try to
Yeah.
go to the Angels games because I
Mm.
think they're coming up. Let me see. I know Jordan,
it's
I
in
think,
2
said he was
weeks.
going out for him. And I was like, I'll be
Jordan's-
back in LA.
Yeah, he said he was going to the Padres. No, the San Francisco series too, I think.
Oh yeah, San Francisco is the 20th through the 22nd, and then the 23rd to the 25th at in Anaheim.
Yep. Yeah, they're doing their West Coast, or they have 3 or 4 West Coast trips this year instead of it all being at
Yeah.
once.
Yeah, which I mean, it's kind of nice. At least spread it out a bit because it kills you. Yeah, it's Seattle, San Francisco, LA is coming up at the end of the month.
I hated
Yeah,
when we
this-
started the year with the West Coast trip because then
Oh,
it's
it was
just like,
awful.
oh, you have to stay up like a full day of work and then or
It's
school,
nice
whatever.
for me
I'm like,
because it's a
"Ugh."
normal start time for me, and the other the games are early, for me. So I'm always like, ooh, and I was at the game where Story blew his arm up, so that was fun.
Yeah, that's not fun.
No,
for
it
him.
was not. I was in line getting a beer, and me and this guy at the same time were like, shit. we were like, we saw it happen on the monitor, and then we looked at the crowd reaction, and we were like, oh, that's not good.
Well, that's a perfect segue because that allows us to actually talk about Trevor's story, which
Exactly.
we've made it 34 minutes in talking about this series win without talking about probably the most valuable piece of this series win, which was Trevor's story.
Yeah. Wild.
Wow.
I think we came into this series saying, why is Trevor's story still on this team? Why
still
is
feel
Trevor's
it.
story not designated for assignment yet? He looks lost up there. And obviously, Alex Bregman getting hurt has put a huge wrench in things, right?
Oh, of course.
But
Yeah.
then Trevor's story comes out, and in the first game, which we won 5-1, by the way,
Mhm.
he got 1 single hit. He also struck out 3 times. So
Yep.
yeah.
Take it.
that one,
Whoa.
yeah, that one hit was a
Shocker.
home run. It was a home run, and it was a 2-run home run, which at the time was a pivotal point of the game. I think it was the 4th inning. So the other 3 strikeouts you could kind of overlook and say, fair enough. Put us on the board. I think there was a home run to Acuna in the very first inning, and no, that's not right. I'm thinking of a different game. I'm thinking
So
of
many
last time.
games.
Yeah, they all kind of blend together because Giolito didn't actually give up any home runs in this game, but it was related to Acuna, I believe, in the first inning. But either way, gave up a run. We rebounded with that one. So that was big. And then today, he couldn't stay off base. He only struck out 1 time. He got 2 hits, even walked. And he missed a grand slam by inches.
Yeah, that was crazy. I was like, oh.
Ended up being a double, but he literally hit it like right below the yellow line. And it was like 400 and something feet. I believe someone put out the tweet that it was a home run in 7 ballparks.
Yeah.
So
guess what? It wasn't a homer. So woo-hoo.
It was not. It was not. But yeah, I mean, he just started hitting the cover off the ball. His batting average, his OPS is back over a 6, which is saying a lot. Yeah.
Damn,
OPS over a
Trev.
6.
That's still so bad.
This is the state of the team right now. I'll ask you guys your thoughts on Trevor's story here in a second, but with him getting his OPS over a 6, that means that there were 1, 2, 3 people in the lineup today who had OPSs lower than a 6. And going into the game, it was 4 because Trevor was under 600 coming into the game.
It's like, I understand that, but like part of me is like, I'm not counting Meyer quite yet in that because it's still so early, I feel like, but it's like, yeah, you're still wrong. And like, I still firmly believe that, I mean, you need to adjust and there's an adjustment that needs to happen with Campbell, but I still think that he's hurt. I think when he took that ball to the ribs, it like he was great up until then. And then it's been like,
he said he's not hurt. He came out and he's like, no, I'm not hurt at all. He's like, that was literally just one day. He's like,
okay, everybody's hurt in baseball. And 162,
you need to figure that
you're not
out
fully healthy. Every baseball player has some sort of injury.
Yeah. So my thing is, man, then you gotta, if you're really truly like 100%, you're feeling great, then yeah, we gotta work on those adjustments, and it might start with firing Pete Fassi.
But I mean, back to story. It's like, I know, Matt, you said earlier, like, you know, this may have just extended Story's DFA date till the All-Star break, where it's like, well, if you DFA Story, who's playing short?
Yeah. I mean, it's tricky because then you push Meyer there, but then who's playing third?
Who's at third?
Yeah.
Right.
So Story's not going anywhere until Alex Bregman's back. That's truly
unless they want to work with Blaze Jordan, which is a totally different conversation.
Yeah, I think that
Ryan Noda's a non-option. Von Grissom's also a non-option.
Yeah, I think the call up of Blaze, I think they want to see a lot and see what he does over the next couple of weeks.
Right.
Sogard, Hamilton, all below average bats, so it's not going to be them.
Please no.
And the thing with Story is, I mean, I just don't think if Bregman was here, we totally different conversation.
Oh, 100%.
Right?
100%.
The fact that he's not here is completely like crazy. Like Alex Cora pinch hit for Story the other day, and it's like, listen, dude, the time's ticking. Figure it out. And it's like, look, I am not moved by this series at all because Story hit a homer on the first game of the series. Okay, it was a breaking ball into a righty. Sure, you should be hitting that for a home run. Oh, he missed a grand slam by inches. Bryce Elder, give me a break. I'm not moved by this. The consistent hitting, I just need to see it. I mean, look, when he gets hot, he gets hot. Is this a hot stretch? Maybe. He had 2 hits today. He had 3 hits in this whole series. But then again, like, yeah, it's bad. The thing is with him, right now you have no other good options. You have to keep him in. And the thing is, we wouldn't be having this conversation if his defensive metrics kind of made up for his poor performance with the bat. The fact that he's one of the statistically the worst, like not the worst, but like DRS hates him. Yeah, his range is not as good as his arm strength isn't good either. Right?
Yeah.
The stats don't really like him. The stats still don't like him. Nothing you can do about it. The stats don't like him.
Which is crazy because, man, when we say, and it's like I always thought, like with that type of a contract, you were like, oh, okay, you always have to give too much to get 3, like you're going to get half of that contract and you're going to be like, wow, we got 3 good years, and you're going to have to deal with 3 crap years. But the unfortunate nature is that the 3 good years he was hurt. So you're just
Right.
in the poop now. And like that's what it is. So unfortunately, it's a terrible contract. But at the time, I didn't think it was going to be the worst thing because I was like, oh, you're probably going to get some good stuff from him. He's going to be at least maybe average bat, and he's going to play elite defense. And now you just aren't getting any of that.
Could be the Padres in the exact same boat, except with Xander Bogaerts, and they have 9 more years of him.
And it's so much money. Oh my God, so much money. I'll deal. Like I would eat, especially if like Maya really comes into his own. You can eat the rest of this Story contract, or you can hope he goes on a hot streak and then somebody's dumb enough and he opts out and somebody's dumb enough to give him years. You know, like those are the two things.
The Atlanta Braves can have him back. Thank you. Or not
like,
back. Right? They can have him. Thank you.
They can have him. Like, you know, he can go to Colorado. Maybe he'll help get them a 10th win.
I mean, hold on. You do make a good point where it's like, you know, we talk about trades and it's like, you know, something that it's June 1st and it's like, you got to start having these conversations about selling at the deadline, marginal selling. You know, I'm curious to hear what your stances are on this, both of you. Like I have my stance and it's like, it's pretty firm. I'm curious to hear what you guys think about that.
What I fear is two things. Number one is that last year this is like when we got hot, and we got really, really hot through July, and you know you saw it watching the Netflix doc back, but it wasn't until after the All-Star break that everything just fell apart for us. There was still enough hope, and there was just enough, just a glimmer that they decided to buy at the deadline in what might be the worst group of players that you could have brought in, knowing the results. Not that the process was wrong, but like knowing how it turned out, probably
It's
the
bad.
worst possible scenario for us. I'm afraid that they're going to get hot again or keep us in it again, and that it's going to put us in a difficult conversation. It would be better to get worse here on out and try and get some pieces back for Chapman and Buehler, because those are the ones that I really see as movable pieces at the deadline. I know Buehler said he wants to be here long term. He signed a 1-year deal. Like, we're not going to extend him.
You can talk
They're going to
all
wait
you want.
He was only going to sign a deal if it was 1 year.
Yeah, and he's kind of not proving himself. So maybe he should have signed a multi.
If someone wanted to pay him a 5-year deal, big money, then
he would have gone there.
I'm sure he would have taken that.
He's a QO candidate this offseason. So
was he not last year?
No, he wasn't.
Oh wow.
Right? That's the Red Sox signed. I don't think so. Yeah. There's not the Red Sox didn't get a pick, right? I'm not tripping, right?
I'm not sure. I was just because he had only ever been a Dodger. And did they maybe just not offer him the QO because they were afraid he was going to take it? That has to be what it was. But he got offered.
I don't think that. No, I swear.
So they didn't offer it. Yeah, because they probably didn't offer it because they were scared he was going to take it. So then, yeah, we can offer it.
Soto, Burns, Bregman, Fried, Adames, Alonso, Santander, Hernandez, Big Dick Nick Pivetta, Christian Walker, Manaea, Severino, Nick Martinez.
Okay, so yeah, they didn't offer because they were probably terrified he'd take it.
And they gave him literally the QO, like $21.05 million.
All right, so that makes sense. So
point being, whatever.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people like Pete Alonso, you know, guys like that will take these 1-year contracts to try and get the QO removed from them, so that then they're more appealing to other teams in free agency the next season. That's what I heard. So, you know, Pete, now that he was QO'd and he signed back with his original team, he is no longer eligible for a QO this next offseason. So if he decides to opt out, that would be extremely beneficial for him. Alex Bregman, same situation. He was QO'd. Next season he opts out. He would not be QO attached anymore. So similar idea. But yeah, with Buehler, like if we wanted to sell him at the deadline, see what you can get for him. Aroldis Chapman, sell him at the deadline.
Chapman's a big piece.
Sell him
man.
earlier than that.
Where's our Cole Reagans?
Right? Yeah, if we can get someone like Cole Reagans back, be incredible. You know, I mean, it's just the problem is you start doing those pieces too soon, and this media market will have a frenzy.
Oh,
right?
of course.
Like that's the smart move. That's the smart thing to do, is to, when Cutter Crawford's back healthy, when we have these guys, to say we don't need Lucas Giolito, we don't need Walker Buehler next year, so let's send these guys out now. Give the rotation to Connerly Early and Dick Fitz and Hunter Dobbins and all these guys, and you let them start, and you bring Houck back, and you just go with what it is, right? But they're not going to do that. Like I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to go and push and figure out if they're within striking distance at the deadline, and probably not sell their pieces that they should, and not going to get under the luxury threshold. They're not going to do it.
Well, that's the issue with, even with like, oh, they're giving up hope again. They were, like you said, they were marginal, like they were like borderline like buyers. It was a seller's market last year. Imagine if they traded Pavetta. Imagine they traded Martin and Jansen. The return they would have gotten would have been incredible. They decided not to do that. And you look at this year, you're statistically a worse team. There's no sign of them doing what they did last year right now, unless something magical happens. They have a much tougher schedule too, by the way. Not even going to include that into that. And even if they do all that, even if they do have that, they're going to look at last year. The biggest difference between this year and last year is they're over the first luxury tax.
Yeah.
Well, no.
Why wouldn't
and the big three are going to be called up by June 10th.
Right. Exactly. And that's the biggest difference. What's not to say it's like, it's all going to depend on how they do in June, because in July, I don't care how they do in July. If they're still on July 1st, if they're five games above 500, and you look at the standings in the wild card, and they don't have a spot, and they're like 3 games out, 2 games out, they're selling. Get under the tax, reset, and like, I'm sorry, you cannot be over the tax. If this is the type of team we're going to be fielding out a month from now, if it's the exact same vibe, if this is going to be the nature of the team going forward, you have zero reason to be over the tax, the first threshold. I know it doesn't really matter to be over the first threshold. You're the Boston Red Sox, but it's about consecutive years too. You're going to have to be paying some of these players. It makes no sense. I understand the Boston Red Sox have all this money, but for this team is so bad. To be over the first tax is incredible.
Yeah.
It's not my money either. It's not my money either. So it's like,
no,
We're 16 million over. So I guess the question is, do we even have enough to sell to get out from underneath there? Because if we sell Chapman, and I guess Walker Buehler makes 21 million. So if we sold
half of that,
if we
everything's
sold,
halved at that point,
Well, it also depends on if we get rid of Yoshida as well.
They're
right?
not going to.
That would be huge.
No team. I don't think
he's just in the shadow.
That's an off-season move. That's not really a deadline move.
Chapman only makes 10 to 11 million. So if you got rid of him, you're saving maybe 5 million, and so that leaves you with another 11 to cut. And so you'd have to cut both Walker and Giolito, or like Story and one of those guys, like, in order to save another $11 million. And that's if they don't make you eat some of the money.
Yeah.
It might be tricky, but I think it's like
a team could use Giolito.
Justin Wilson, I hate to say it.
He's been
another
so
candidate.
Good.
Nah, it's marginal. He's making $1 million. But you're right. But you're right.
It's just what your prospect, you think your prospect haul could be. That's what it comes down to. But I don't know.
Honestly, Brennan Bernardino's about to hit arbitration. Like, is he a candidate that could be moved? Like Rob Refsnyder, again, another guy making $2 million, but is he someone that could be a piece that's moved if they're really?
I hate to say this too. Tanner Houck.
Oh God, please go.
But listen, my take on him is like, if he comes back from injury and he sucks, he's a non-tender candidate. Honestly, honestly, like if he is generationally bad when he comes back, it's like the Red Sox are paying him what, 3.5 right now. They have to pay the rules. Arbitration is like, you have to pay him over that. At the same time, pitching is expensive now, and it's like,
True.
That's something you can work on the offseason. Like I said, not guaranteed to be non-tendered, obviously.
Yeah,
But
I mean, it's.
you trend toward those conversations.
I think
I don't
can
think
be in the
there's a
pen.
world.
Put him in the pen.
I don't think
again.
there's a world where he gets non-tendered
No, I don't
if
think
that's the case. But you cannot tell me that those conversations will not be happening. Like you have to you have to consider it. That's a lot of money. Like $5 million to like Tanner Houck, who was generationally a bad pitcher this year.
Yeah.
Hopefully something clicks for him.
Yeah, my whole thing is that I'm just like, I'm with you, Matt, on the idea of like kind of being afraid that they're gonna try to go for it. And I think it's because, and I'm a F your feelings type person. I feel like there's too much like, well, what if the clubhouse is upset? And well, Bregman's going to be coming back. And what kind of a message does that send to, our $40 million man that, we didn't try to go for it. And that's what I'm terrified about. And that's the indecisive nature that everybody got on Chaim for. I think we'll see what happens at this deadline. If they are truly, if they're hovering, if they're really bad, then yeah, you're selling everything and the whole world knows that. But if you're like around, you're hanging out and you're around that, if they go for it when it's like you probably still shouldn't, I feel like that's going to show some of that indecisiveness from Breslow as well. So it's, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I have the hottest June of every team in baseball, and then we don't need to talk about it, and then they're obviously going to go for it. But I have to see that,
Yeah. I also just realized that we actually have another mutual option with Liam Hendricks. No way that that's getting picked up right now.
Nope, thank you for your service. He's DFA candidate if he wasn't hurt, honestly.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but
and it sucks. It sucks because he seems like such a great guy.
I will never pray on a downfall for like a good guy like Liam Hendricks, like the stuff he's faced. Granted, there's some people like Marcelo Zuna where it's like, I hope you die.
Yeah.
But like conversations aside, like I genuinely feel bad for
worst
Liam
person
Hendricks.
ever.
And it's like, it's a business. Yeah. It's a business. At the end of the day, baseball's a business. And it's like, if you're not winning and you're not performing well, conversations have to be made to make the team better. And if making the team better means you're not on it, I'm sorry, that has to happen. Like it's these guys' jobs at the end of the day. And it sucks to get laid off / like get cut or be DFA'd in this case. Like I'm like Liam Hendricks is, I mean he had the hernia, but like he looked washed. Like the stuff he didn't have this stuff. Like sorry.
And it's tough to come back from Tommy John and battling cancer to just kind of fall right back into how good you were 2 full years prior. Like
he hasn't pitched in a full season since 2022.
Yeah, it's insane to like.
And he comes back and he's Tommy John. Yeah.
It's not an ideal situation, but I just, it's interesting. Like, I think that some of the guys, like, because I know we were talking about, okay, if we sell a bunch of these guys out, like, what could we get in return? I think, like, in my mind, I was like, well, do we even have enough young bullpen guys to like fill a bullpen? Like, if we do go on a fire sale,
who knows?
Do we even have enough?
Luis Guerrero can finally come up in the big leagues and be there for over a week.
Yeah, I know. They're just so afraid because of how bad those numbers look in AAA.
Well, now I don't know. He's going to be on the big league team for a while.
He is.
Nick
He's
Birdie,
here for a while. Yeah, Birdie looked great down in AAA.
Yeah. When they announced that Carrera was being called back up, I instantly was thinking that Brendan Bernardino was going to be going back down, where he was going on the IL.
I didn't think for a second it was him. I'm like, no way. No, it's someone else. I speculated it was Weissert.
Weissert's looked pretty good lately. So
yeah, until they use him.
So they're gonna just overuse everybody.
The clock's ticking. Like they're gonna overuse them. Yay! And the stupid thing they're doing, and I don't know if you've seen what they're doing in Worcester. They're having all their relievers go 2 innings for whatever reason. I'm like, what? Preparing them for the big leagues where they're gonna get overused. Like, they're gonna use you 2 innings in the big leagues.
Yeah. Corey doesn't know how to manage a pen.
Get ready to learn Alex Cora, buddy.
Well, if they really want to get ready for the big leagues, they do the new inning and a third piggyback method that they're doing to get these guys out of all their starts, because that's like exactly how they've been using them in the last couple of weeks. Is the starter goes 4 2/3, and they come in, get the last out of the fourth, and then they start going an inning and a third, inning and a third, inning and a third, and just getting outs that way. It's really kind of crazy. But yeah,
Mhm.
Sox prospects called it out. They were like, I don't know if we've even like picked up on this before, but they don't throw guys multiple days in a row. They don't throw them for one inning at a time. It's always 2 innings here, 2 innings here, maybe
Oh,
once, maybe
that's
twice a week.
interesting.
And it doesn't mimic the usage up in the majors. So why would you have them doing that in AAA when that's not at all how they're going to be used? And there must be a method to it because Portland does it too, but like it's just weird. It's a weird way to utilize people that doesn't prepare them for how they're going to be used in the majors.
Yeah, that
Maybe
is odd.
maybe it does somehow. I don't know. I'm not the expert, but
They're kind of, I mean, I can only speak. I mean, in Greenville, it's completely different because it's like piggybacks and stuff. So I don't know.
Hmm.
It's interesting how they use them. They're always pitch limits, but that happens everywhere.
yeah.
I mean, high A, and double A are they're managed so much differently because they're two completely like different like developmental levels. Because it's like Portland is like okay, or double A is like here. This is like your big developmental level. Like this is the closest you're gonna see to the big leagues, and it's like for a lot of the teams, other teams like a lot of the other teams don't view AAA as a developmental level. The
Yeah.
Red Sox do, in this case, and they talk about it on the minor league show a lot. Like a lot of times it's like Portland is the big jump. A lot of this,
Yeah.
I mean, especially there's a lot of good pitching here in Greenville, and I've had the pleasure to go see them a lot, so they've looked pretty good. So. There's my positive for the day.
All right. Well, probably looking ahead here. Probably should look at the Angels series. We talked about this. It's got to be like 2 out of 3, but like we say that all the time. Like we always got to win a series, but like this feels like it needs to be a sweep. It's just you look at who we have going for us, and it's tough. The Angels are not a high batting average team, but they are one of the best, if not the best, in hitting home runs in the league, I believe. I'll have to take a look at that. But basically, all their run scoring has been on home runs. And the pitchers that we have going is Richard Fitz, Brian Bayo, and Lucas Giolito. Bayo and Giolito, obviously big candidates to give up the long ball. So I don't know if I love that matchup for us. Yeah, it's not looking great. On the other side, we've got Tyler Anderson, Yusei Kikuchi, and Jose Soriano. Those guys stink. Yusei Kikuchi has an 8.3 ERA.
Oof. Shit.
Actually, that's not right. I'm sorry. That's something else. That's fantasy points per game.
I was gonna say I didn't think like he's been a decent pitcher throughout his career. I was gonna be like, whoa, what happened?
Yeah, no, I was way wrong on that. His ERA is 3.06.
Oh, but that feels like a Yusei Kikuchi.
They're gonna use Rob Refsnyder a lot this series.
Yeah, we got the lefties going.
Adam Eaton will be used. Jose
Soriano. Don't you mean Nate Eaton?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
If Adam Eaton was being used, that'd be wild.
He'd be our number 4 hitter today if he came back to the majors.
Yeah.
I mean, they had Abraham Toro batting 4th today. So
he'll bat 4th tomorrow.
This is one thing I will give Cora credit for. All right. And this is we can make some predictions here in a second, but Cora has completely changed his lineup philosophy this season compared to last season. Last season, he kept the same lineup, really, really tried to always do righty, lefty, and he just like was refusing to move. This season, he for the first month, he tried to keep it stagnant, but the last 2 or 3 weeks, he has been riding the hot hand. So like whoever is currently on a heater, he's like, all right, we're moving him right up the lineup. You saw that with the aggressive moving of Narvaez from like 8th to 7th and then right up to like cleanup spot, right?
Oh shit, he's in like 3rd and 4th, and you're like,
yeah. And Marcelo Myers up and it's his 4th game and he's batting cleanup because they're like he looked good. He had like 5 hits. He had more extra base hits in his first 3 games than Trevor Story did in like the last month. And one of those extra base hits from Story was off a position player. So those are the type of aggressive moves you like to see. Toro's been extremely hot. OPS over, I think 800 or 900 right now. He's batting over 300, and he has a couple of hits. Another hit today, and like they're moving him right up. He's batting 4th, and I think that's the type of aggressiveness that you like to see. We'll see if
Mhm.
this is something that ends up panning out for us. But yeah, we have a lot of two lefties we're facing: Tyler Anderson, Yusei Kikuchi, and Jose Soriano. They all have ERAs in the threes. Kikuchi's is the lowest, but we don't fare well typically against lefties either. So we will
Mhm.
see
I mean, we
how
did
it
get
goes.
5 off of Scooble.
Yeah,
That's true.
insane.
That is true. That is very true. I'm
We lost.
going 2 out of 3. I think we need it, and I think we're bound to
Yeah.
lose one of these games in some sort of a dumb fashion. But I think that we can ride 2 out of 3 against the Angels. What do you guys think?
Oh, you.
I'm gonna go with a sweep just because the Angels are so bad. You can never really count on a sweep. I hate saying a sweep, but I'm gonna pull one for Sleepy Kev. I'm gonna go a sweep.
I love it. Well,
So
hopefully we're right.
yeah,
Mhm.
hopefully I'm wrong because I'm gonna have them losing the first game,
Mhm.
winning the second game, and then I'm gonna flip a coin for the third game because they are losing tomorrow. Like I can tell you, it just feels like a loss. It just feels like a loss to me. There's
Mm.
no way. I just don't see a world where they win tomorrow because it's like, oh, the Angels, they suck. We're gonna come up and beat on them, and you know this team's vibe is like, yeah, no, you're not.
Yeah.
Let's see, a coin flip.
Flip the coin.
We'll go heads. We'll go heads, win, tails. No, tails never fails. Heads, loss, tails, win.
Mhm.
And heads. Okay, so we're losing.
All right.
All right,
Two
we're
out of
losing
three.
2 out of
All
3. I
right.
hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm
If they
wrong. I
lose
hope I'm
2
wrong.
out of 3 against the Angels, I might go insane.
Yeah, well, we can pack it up at that
And I'm
point.
pretty close. Yeah.
I hope I'm
Yeah.
wrong. I really do.
I hope you're wrong too, but
Thank
would
you.
not be shocking, honestly.
I just hope whenever they
also,
play the
like-
Colorado Rockies, they don't lose a game.
Oh,
my Lord.
they will find a way to lose that series.
Oh.
You're telling me that they are gonna win. They're gonna like sweep a series against the Rockies. They're the type of team to lose one, and they'll maybe
Yeah.
lose a series. They lost a series to the White Sox.
I know
Come
they
on.
did. I can't.
Last year they made up 33% of the White Sox wins for the year.
Yep.
They lost the series in Colorado last year.
They
I
did.
Can't. I can't.
Cal Quantrill.
Yeah, that bastard.
Go check out that parking lot, you dumb fuck.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome. Any final thoughts? I'll ask you first, Bayleigh. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts are I'll never give up and I'll always watch even when they are terrible. I watched all of 2012, I watched all of 2020. Like I'll watch. I love baseball. I love this team. I just wish they were run better or they had an ownership that like truly cared. Like so that's my final thought. I'll always watch and I'm going to hope for the best.
Jason, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm a 162 person. You know, like this is my team. You know, I want them to win.
Of course.
At the same time, it's hard to do that when they're not good. They're not feeling out a great team. So my final thought: shake something up. It is not too late to do that. I'm not saying fire Cora because I think that's the last thing they should do right now, and that's a completely different conversation. Shake something up, change an identity of the team, move someone somewhere, maybe make a trade, move something, do something. This identity needs to change. How do you do it is beyond me. Be aggressive, put your balls on the table, and make a move.
Yeah. It's not our job to do it, but we'll tell you, you need to.
Yep.
My final thoughts. Shout out to the female cop that was just in awe of Marcelo Myers.
Hell yes,
aura.
girl. Hell yes, girl.
Game 1.
She was
He
like
made a phenomenal
all over that.
catch. She's definitely checking him out as he walks by. Phenomenal play. Great content coming out of that catch as well. Great catch from
It was
Marcelo.
an amazing catch. Like, whew.
Also, shout out to the Woo Sox social media team for showing how they snuck Roman Anthony from the game tonight out to the team bus. Pretty sneaky stuff. Would love to see them sneak him up to Boston. So if they could just Oh, hey,
I'm
I
here,
think I got him
guys.
on the wrong bus.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
My
Oh,
prediction last episode was that he would be up for Monday for that series on Monday because I was
Mhm.
mistakenly thinking that June 1st was that deadline that we just researched.
Mhm.
But turns out that was just because I was guessing. If I had actually researched it, I would have found out it was June 6th. So my new prediction is that he's not going to make his debut on June 7th in the Bronx at Saturday at Yankee Stadium. My new prediction is that he's going to be making his major league debut on Monday, the 10th, Monday the 9th versus Tampa Bay. Yeah, I think it just makes sense. It's starting off a nice home stretch where they play 6 in a row at home versus Tampa Bay and the Yankees. And I think that would be the perfect time for them to call up Roman Anthony and just completely commit war crimes against service time manipulation. So,
Yep. And then when he wins Rookie of the Year or comes in second, big F you to your manipulation. Boston Red Sox.
if he does well, yeah.
Yeah. Like that's the thing is like if he does well and you call him, I think the thing is outside of like calling him up where there's like he has no rookie eligibility, like there's nothing where it's like it's impossible for him to win. He could win. So just, so
Yeah.
I hope they lose their manipulation. I always want to keep him here, but also I just want them to you can sign the player. You can do that, Boston. You're the Boston Red Sox.
I also thought it was hilarious that like half the segments that we talked about last week, Bayleigh, were also like Section 10 segments from that same
Yeah,
exact
that ended up
episode that
weird.
dropped.
See?
Yeah,
Listen to us.
it was
We're
crazy.
just as good.
Yeah, just as good. Yeah, yeah.
We don't
I
have the
guess that's-
backing or the cachet, but hey, come listen.
Yeah, we also don't have ad reads. So if you want an hour of ad-free listening, tune into the Pesky Report. We will just kidding. We will take sponsors. If anyone knows any sponsors, we are open to sponsors.
Absolutely. Let's make up some fun ad reads.
I don't know.
Very true.
Roman.
Yeah. Let's call up Roman. All right.
Exactly.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in to the Pesky Report. Once again, we are a part of Beyond the Monster, and we appreciate you all hopping in here. Hopefully, Trevor's story keeps this streak going. But Red Sox need to shake some things up. Let's hope for anything except for what Jason said happens in this series against the Angels.
I myself agree with that statement too. Yeah, I hope I lose.
Go Sox, and we will catch you guys next time.